President Trump does not have the legal authority or power to impose his sweeping tariffs or those so-called reciprocal tariffs. That's according to the DC Appeals Court. A major ruling just came down a short time ago, but that doesn't mean these tariffs are disappearing immediately. And before I explain why, you need to know that the president has already blasted this ruling in a lengthy post on his social media account. Of course, he said this was a partisan group of judges, even though the most senior judge in the majority opinion was appointed by President George H.W. Bush. In his post, Trump said, if these tariffs ever went away, it would be a total disaster for the country. It would make us financially weak, and we have to be strong. He then went on to say he is absolutely appealing this ruling to the U.S. Supreme Court, and he almost guarantees that the justices are going to give him what he wants when it comes to these tariffs. He says, now, with the help of the United States Supreme Court, we will use them, the tariffs, to benefit our nation and make America rich, strong, and powerful again. We're going to have to wait and see if the Supreme Court actually sides with Trump on this one. But in the meantime, this DC Appeals Court injunction will stand. However, the judges said that the tariffs will be allowed to remain in effect, allowing Trump time to appeal to the Supreme Court. Now, the case is being brought by U.S. importers and 12 states, including Arizona, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Illinois, Maine, Minnesota, Nevada, New Mexico, New York, Oregon, and Vermont. That group argues that Trump's tariff actions are hurting them financially by increasing their costs and disrupting their operations. And they say Trump does not have the legal or constitutional power to just willy-nilly impose tariffs at whatever rate he wants on the entire world for as long as he wants. See, Trump believes there is a national emergency and an unusual and extraordinary threat when it comes to the trade deficits and fentanyl. And because of those emergencies, Trump believes that he has every right to impose whatever tariff rate he wants without the consent of Congress. To justify this, he is using a law from the 1970s called the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. Well, today, in a 7-4 ruling, the appeals court judges said no. Trump does not have that power under the IEEPA law. They said the law gives the president the power to regulate importation during national emergencies, but the law does not include the word tariff once. The judges said the law does not authorize the president to impose tariffs, duties, or taxes. They said the Constitution is clear. Those powers belong to Congress. The ruling says our decision today preserves the constitutional allocation of authority. Tariffs are taxes, and the power to tax lies with Congress. Presidents may not claim by implication what the Constitution entrusts expressly to the legislature. I'll let you know what happens if or when the Supreme Court takes up this case. But in the meantime, if you want to read this lengthy ruling from the DC Appeals Court, I'm going to email it out to you in my Facts HQ email tonight, so make sure you sign yourself up.